Hello everyone, this is Lisa from ToCreateAWebsite.com here with part 3 of my CSS tutorial. So if you haven't seen parts 1 and 2, definitely check those out so you can get all caught up. And in this part we're going to learn how to create a horizontal navigation for your site, for your template. I've been getting a lot of questions about that, so I'm going to teach you how to do that right now. But before I do that, I want to clarify something. I mentioned in the last video that you could use this class here for the horizontal links in other sections of your site. That's not true, because I forgot that we gave this class an absolute position. So if you tried to use the same class in your footer, it wouldn't show up properly because it has an absolute position that is based off the header. So if you wanted to create horizontal links or a style for your footer, you would need to create another set or another class just for the footer. So I mistakenly said that, and so I wanted to clear that up. Okay? So let's get to our horizontal nav. So to create a nav, what you're going to do is create another section or an ID or a container in your style sheet. So just like we had our pound header, our pound left nav, our pound right nav, we're going to create pound horizontal nav, and I've already done it up here. And we're going to give this section some characteristics or some parameters. The width is 900, height is 30, position is relative. Make sure you watch the last video where I explain why you need to say relative here. Background color, that's what this is, and then your border bottom. So let's take a look at the horizontal nav. This is what it looks like. So it's 900 pixels wide. It takes up the entire screen here. It's 30 pixels high, and this is the background color here. Okay? Now, just like when we created these header links here, we're going to use that same philosophy for our links in our navigation. We're going to use the UL and the LI tag. Okay? So the bullet tag basically in HTML. So, just like we did last time for the horizontal links, I created another class with a period for these links, and this is how I styled the links. So we start off giving them a position, and the position is 4 pixels from the top and 140 pixels over from the left. So that's 4 pixels from the top, not the top of the header, but the top of the section that it's located in, and 140 pixels over from the left side. So that's where it starts. Then we've got the UL, then we've got the list item, the LI, and just like we did for the horizontal links in the header, we've got a margin, and we've got an 18 pixel right margin, and that's what gives the links their space. List style none, that's so we don't have bullets show up, and then the display inline is the horizontal placement of the links. That's what gets the links to display horizontally. Okay? Now, the actual links themselves, here are the attributes for those. You've got the colors black, we've got some padding here, and the reason I created that padding is so the background shows up when I hover, and I'll talk about the background in a minute. Text decoration none, that means the links are not underlined. Font size 16, and font family Verdana. Now, for when you hover over the links, you've got the color, it's white. The background image is this image that I created in Photoshop, which is part of the template, so when you download it, you will get this file in your images folder. That's what this wooden background is when you hover that matches the header. I created this little image in Photoshop really quickly. So that's what that is. And if you don't want an image when you hover, if you just want a different color, I've given you a note here. I wrote down a note and tells you how to change this line so you'll have a color instead of an image. Okay? And then the text decoration is underline. So when you hover, see how it's underlined, the link is. Okay? So that's the style. So now you have to put this in your actual page so it shows up in the browser. So you open up your index.html page, and right below the header section, because that's where this is going to go, below the header, see we've closed out our header right here. So we're going to start, and we go div ID equals horizontal nav, because that's what we called it, remember, here. So we open it here, and inside of that div we've got our nav links, the class. That's what we named it here. Remember, the dot means class, style. So we've got class equals nav links, and each line item, just like before, is a link. So every nav link is a new line item, and that's how we got our 4 links across here. So that's how you create a left nav, or excuse me, a horizontal nav. And there are many ways, guys, of doing this. So if there are some CSS pros watching this and you say, oh, there's a better way of doing it, please feel free to comment. I am by no means an expert with CSS. I'm learning as I go myself. So please feel free to jump in the comments and mention things if you see something that might be either out of whack, or if there's a better way of doing something. Please let me know. I definitely appreciate it. Because I'm always about finding easier or shorter ways of doing things, right? Okay, so one thing I wanted to mention is that you can create a class that you can use across the different sections of your site. Let's say, for example, you wanted to create a class for some small text, like maybe for a footer, or maybe if you want some disclaimer text. Let's say you want to create some text that's smaller than the default text on your site. Right here, I have created a class called small text, and I called it, you can call it whatever you want, but that's just what I named it, and I gave it a font size of 9 and a font family of Arial. So let's say you wanted to add some small text to your header. What you do, you go to your index file, and as you can see, I've already done it for the sake of time, and you type p class, because it's a class, equals small text, and you type small text and close the p. And that's what this text is here. So you'll get that small text. Notice it's smaller than the default text for the header. And you can use this class for any section of your site. So if you want some small text for your left nav, if you want some disclaimer info on your body, you can use this same tag to generate the small text. Alright? So guys, this concludes the 3rd section of my CSS tutorial. What I'm going to do a 4th one. I was going to do 3, but I just thought of something that I wanted to do. I was going to show you how to create a table or a box using CSS. So I'm going to do that in the 4th tutorial. Another thing I wanted to mention, in the images folder of this template that you downloaded, I created a couple of other images for you in Photoshop. So if you want to change out the header, open the image file and swap out the name in the CSS file, and you can get a new header. And if you have a graphics program, I have provided you with the PSD file, so you can make changes to the header if you wish. And you can also change this header as well if you have a graphics program, because I did give you the PSDs. So I thought I'd do that for you. So that's all for this tutorial, guys. Make sure you subscribe. If you're not already subscribed to the 2Create a Website channel on YouTube, please make sure you subscribe, because I've got some great things coming down the pike for this channel. I'm having a ball doing these tutorials, so I hope you're enjoying them. And I will see you in part 4, where I'm going to teach you how to create tables using CSS. So I'll see you in a bit. Bye-bye.